We like this matter to be reported in context. We like to make it very clear from the outset that we are not against advertising and we're not against businesses or media houses. We stand for friendly business environment and we support advertising for the media. As a matter of fact, even though this ruling touches on beer companies and of course has far-reaching implications on advertising of beer and other products that are intended for adults, we are not against advertising. Our point is very clear. We would like enforcement of the watershed principles to protect children from premature exposure to beer, to gambling, to sexual activities, premature exposure, and to protect children from harmful content, and to promote adherence to journalistic ethics in respect to classification of content in line with CAP 222 and the programming code for free-to-air radio and TV. We want to assure you and to give the industry that assurance that even though the ruling that we are highlighting today is in favor of the Kenya Film Classification Board, we will engage with the industry to implement it in a way that does not injure the business interests of the viable companies in this country. But we must make it clear that business cannot be put at the expense of lives and of our children and our future. We want to make it clear that the media have a responsibility to uphold moral values, to ensure that the content that they air is in line with the classification guidelines, and that programming code for free-to-air radio and TV that bars any content that is not suitable for family viewing from airing during the watershed period shall be upheld. And I want to make it clear again that on this we are committed, we are resolute, and there is no turning back. We will ensure that there is adherence to the law by the media. We may not look like we are powerful, and we may not look like we have the wherewithal to do it or to take on these big multinationals. But as long as you want to corrupt the moral values of our children, and as long as the agenda of your business is to destroy their perspectives and make them zombies through bad content, you will have Kenya Film Classification Board to reckon with. And on this, we will not relent. This is the law, and we are hoping that now that the court has provided the clarity that is necessary, then there will be adherence to the same. Ladies and gentlemen, in January this year, 2017, the Kenya Film Classification Board issued a notice to beer manufacturers and betting companies, as well as other advertising companies, asking them to remove all advertisements on alcoholic products and betting programs from the watershed period. In our notice, we drew the attention of the stakeholders and the companies concerned to the fact that it is illegal for any business entities to broadcast any inappropriate content between 5 in the morning and 10 in the morning, which is what we call the watershed period. The companies defied the order, and upon the expiry of the demand notice, the board moved to court and obtained temporary orders requiring the companies to suspend all beer adverts airing during the watershed period. The order issued by late Justice Juguna in January required the companies to pull off all beer adverts from air immediately, as required by the board in its application to the High Court of Kenya, pending the determination of the case. It should be noted that the board derives its content regulatory mandate from the Film and Stage Plays Act, CAP 222, as well as Section 3 of the Programming Code for Free-to-Air Radio and Television Services in Kenya. According to CAP 222, no film or class of film, including adverts, should be created, distributed, broadcasted, or exhibited without obtaining a filming license, and the classification and rating of the content thereof by the board, including issuance of a certificate of approval in line with the law. The Alcoholic Beverages Association of Kenya, ABAC, went to the Constitutional Court, challenging our mandate to regulate audiovisual commercials aired on television in Kenya. The association claimed that the board's action amounted to overstepping its mandate, was discriminative, and in violation of Article 47 of the Constitution of Kenya on fair and administrative action. Mobile operator Safaricom joined the case in support of ABAC or ABAC's petition. The board challenged the petition, paving the way for the hearing of the matter. The Alcoholic Beverages Association of Kenya, ABAC, provided no evidence that the board, in enforcing the law and in its petition challenging our mandate, did not provide any evidence to challenge our mandate in respect to regulation of alcohol advertisements, including the ones run on television. And therefore, the argument that it was discriminatory or our action was unfair did not hold any water. Further, the board had not taken any administrative action to be complained of, and the warnings and demand adverts or demand warnings that we had sent to the advertisers to submit their audiovisual content for rating and the classification was indeed within our mandate and the law. Transmission of audiovisual advertisements must ensure respect for cultural age differences, linguistic diversity, moral values, and religious convictions. And as you might have noted from the ruling of the judge, I don't know whether it has been circulated and it will be made available to you, the judge observed that indeed Kenya Film Classification Board has the mandate to rate and classify content for age appropriateness. Those labels that you see, GE for general exhibition, PG, 16, 18, are derived from CAP 222. On top of that, the programming code for free-to-air radio and television services gives us the powers to rate all TV and radio content for free-to-air. Of course, we are not exempting the pay-to-view or per-view. However, it is assumed there is more, there is a responsibility for the parents when it comes to the bouquet that they choose when they are subscribing on DSTV or any other of those other pay-per-view services. But free-to-air, in line with the programming code, it's very clear that it has to be rated for suitability. Not to say the program should not air, but for suitability to ensure that as you watch TV, you know what program is appropriate for your children, which program is appropriate for adults only. And I think this is the essence of the ruling. So the judge found that we had not committed any crime, that we had not overstepped any mandate contrary to the song that was sung by misguided lawyers or hired by the media houses the whole year, and they should refund their money. I saw Clifford was all over the place saying that we have overstepped, we have no mandate, quoting an outdated case of 2009, and I kept telling him, you can't buy these things to run adverts that are not rated. And I hope, therefore, the companies can demand their money from those lawyers, because it was obvious. There was no case here. And I'm not a lawyer. And I kept arguing before this microphone. And I went to media houses. They couldn't listen. They engaged on a smear campaign. And there were campaigns even involving some of the organizations that we expect to know better and to stand for children that were meant to divert the agenda and make it look like we are against media houses. Far from it. And this is the essence of the ruling by the judge, that all adverts must be submitted. In the light of this ruling, therefore, the board would like to state the following. One, that based on the court decision KSCB has the mandate to regulate all audiovisual content in line with the Films and Stage Plays Act, Cap 222. Accordingly, advertisements must be submitted to the board for classification. And any advert that is airing on TV that has not been submitted to the board for classification, it is airing against the law and in contempt of the ruling by Justice Mativo. That is a matter that will be taken very seriously. Once a ruling is given, we don't need to wait for service. It was served to the parties by the judge, and therefore it takes effect immediately. The ruling is given. That's our understanding of the law again. And I hope those lawyers who lie to their client will not again go saying that you wait until you are served. In fact, we are serving you now. The moment you listen to this and we show these pictures, we can also prove that we serve you in public through the media. What we expect going forward, therefore, is that all the adverts, particularly the beer, gambling, condoms, hata ile ya kuwa true. Hakuna kuwa true mchana. Matangazo ya pombe, wale watu wanataka kulewa, wanajua mahali watapata pombe. Please leave our kids alone. Wewe nenda ukakunywe pombe yako. Kama wewe ni mtu mzima, nenda ukapotelee huko kwa mbali. Stay there if you want, if you wish. But for God's sake, leave our kids alone. And don't expose them to beer. Media houses and broadcasters, you want to advertise beer? Take it out of the watershed. Wale walevi watakuwa huko. In any case, walevi wengi wanaonanga after 10. Watershed ni ya kuzuia tu watoto. Family viewing. Yeah? Attracting mambo ya pombe. And these adverts that glamorize the taking of the beer, even giving misleading information that you gain some sexual prowess when you take beer, when you take Guinness. Imara kama sima. When women are demonstrating in Kiambu for lack of conjugal rights. Tomorrow, you don't become imara kama anything when you're drunk. You don't build a country on the basis of drunkenness. Allow me to say again that all audiovisual content aired on free-to-air radio and TV must be submitted to the board for rating and classification. For the avoidance of doubt, no television program, including advertisements, should air unless it has been submitted to the board for examination and classification. And you people of the media, and I'm one of you, but at least I behave differently. We cannot challenge the political class and accuse politicians of corruption if we cannot obey simple laws like this. For heaven's sake, if we are going to be credible agents of change and be able to challenge the status quo and speak about corruption and take government officials, keep them on their toes and hold them to account, then we must be like Caesar's wife, beyond reproach. This is the only way we can become the media, can become the custodian of the public interest, can be respected, can be seen to be the conscience of society when we know that they also obey rules. And that's what we are pleading this morning that you do. Then lastly, like I said, the ruling takes effect immediately on all parties, including broadcasters and advertising agencies. And we therefore expect that forthwith, starting tonight, there will be no beer adverts on air. Please announce this, wasiseme wakusikia. Tangazeni tu, ni kwa nia yao. Because acting otherwise will be in contempt of court. The board has enhanced its capacity to monitor violators, and we will also ensure that we are able to provide evidence to the court for those who are violating. So our media broadcast unit is quite alert and will be able to talk to you. We will be very civil. There will be no harassment of the media. There will be no harassment of businesses. We'll be very civil. But when we will be called upon to have to enforce the law through the police or other agencies, we will have to do so. So this is what we expect from the industry: compliance, compliance, compliance. And that as we do this, we are also appealing to parents, to religious institutions, to advertising agencies, to our media colleagues and everyone to support this crusade. Contrary to the false narrative that has been given, Kenya Film Classification Board is not the enemy of the industry. We will never be. But we'll do everything within the law. That's why when our orders expired in January, despite the pressure from everywhere, and if you look at our social media, everybody was asking, why are you guys allowing this beyond budget? And we remained true to our cause, that when the orders have expired, there's nothing we can do. We have also been getting complaints about some of the programs that air after 10. 10 over 10, for example, in the Citizen, we have said, unless you change the law, our mandate goes between 5 in the morning to 10 in the evening. Any program coming out of the watershed period, there is nothing we can do. Mzazi ambie watoto wakalale. There's nothing we can do. That's a law. Connect of Gertrude, obnoxious as it is, because I don't think you need to show people how to make love. People know, animals know, everybody knows. Some of these things are just, yeah. Kila mtu anajua. Hiyo umri unajua vile utafanya. But it comes out of the watershed period. Nairobi Diaries, it's out of the watershed period. Our concern is programs that appear during family time or during the watershed period. And we're going to be very keen to ensure that we do this, not to determine what adults have to watch. We are not going to curtail the freedoms of adults. That's why the board is no longer banning movies. We have moved from that to restricting them for adults only, to ensure that we are compliant with the law ourselves, and also we respect the freedom of choice for adults. Lakini hawa watoto wetu hao tutawalinda kabisa. Na wale ambao wanadhania ni mzaa ati gambling unaweza ipromote kama ni ya watoto, you'll be in for rude awakening, because we'll deal with you in line with the law.